Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. In this tutorial we will talk about the vServer 4 from Syncronorm and how we can use it together with the Syncronorm ADC to control our fountain height based on the wind speed. First, a quick explanation of what the vServer and the ADC are. The vServer is a standalone interactive show controller for DPNs that plays multimedia timecode shows, supports standard protocols, and can control up to 48 DMX universes. The SyncroADC multiplexer converts up to 12 analog 0 to 10 volts control signals into digital DMX signals. When these two hardware components are connected properly, we can use them to lower the pump level of our fountain pumps based on the outdoor wind speed. Let me show you how this would look like when drawn. We will take a look at the real-life setup in a second, but first let me explain how this setup is wired and connected. On the top left we have our power supply, which supplies the ADC and our wind speed sensor with power. From our wind speed sensor we can see a line going out into our ADC. This is the signal cable from the sensor feeding the ADC with its analog signal 0 to 10 volts based on the wind speed. This analog input signal is converted by the ADC into a digital signal, which is then sent to our DMX output. As previously said, the ADC can convert up to 12 analog signals into digital ones. You can see that on the ADC there is a CN4 20-pin connector attached on it. This cable has, as said, 12 lines for analog input signals, 4 not connected pins, 2 ground pins, 1 5 volts pin and 1 10 volts pin. You can take a look at the pinout yourself with the link down in the video description. The 12 converted signals are output through the DMX out port. This DMX port can be configured to start at a specific address. For example, if we start at address 0, the signal will occupy channel 0 to 12. And if we start at 100, the signal will be output on channels 100 to 112, and so on. These converted signals can now be sent into our vServer, where we can work with those values and adjust the pump speeds. For now, the theoretical part is done. Let's take a look at my provisionally setup. Everything is connected just as I showed in the drawings a few seconds ago. And we can now see the wind speed sensor on the left, the power supply on the right, and the ADC in the middle. I also connected a DMX reader to the DMX out port of the ADC. This port now sends the signal to both the vServer and the DMX reader. If we let the wind speed sensor spin or simulate airflow, the ADC converts the analog signal from the sensor into a digital signal and sends it out through the DMX out port. Before we can see the input signal of the ADC at the vServer, we will need to create a new project in DPNs. So for the next step, we will create a new DPNs project, connect DPNs with the vServer and upload a project to the vServer. Before creating a new project, make sure you are in the same IP address range as the vServer. The vServer always has the IP 192.168.150.19 and my network adapter is set to 192.168.150.20. Now that we have checked our network adapter settings, let's make sure it is selected in the network settings within DPNs. For this, navigate to Settings, Network Settings, and make sure your SyncroNet adapter is set to the proper one. Hit OK, and if you've changed something, make sure to restart DPNs. Make sure before starting DPNs that your vServer is up and running. Now let's create a new project. Once the project has loaded, go to the Hardware tab, click on the plus button and add a Syncronorm vServer 4 connection. Once created, let's connect to the vServer. For this, go to the Connection and Upload tab and hit Connect to. Select your vServer IP shown in the menu and hit OK. Once successfully connected, you will be displayed with infos of the vServer, such as the current firmware version and your serial number. On the touchscreen of the vServer, you can also see if your DPN session is connected to the server. For this, swipe to the left until you can see the window Network. Now on the bottom of the screen you can see a green text saying status depends connected. Now as we are connected to the server, let's go to the Logic I/O tab. From here you can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel. And while holding down the right mouse button, you can drag around the window. Within the Logic I/O, you will always have these two nodes displayed and connected to each other. This is your DMX routing. The universe 1 of depends is sent to the first DMX output of the vServer, the second universe to the second output, and so on. But we need at least one of these outputs to become an input. For this, click on the XLR output connectors node and disable the output connector that you would like to use as an input, and delete the line connecting it to the read DMX universe node. Now this port is useless as it is neither an input nor an output. What we need now is a vServer input connector node along with a write DMX universe node. From the vServer input connector, make sure to only enable connector 1 as you may need port 2, 3 or 4 as an output. Now connect the nodes accordingly. From now on, everything sent to DMX port 1 of the vServer is getting transferred into universe 1 of depends. You can of course also send the DMX data of the DMX input 1 from the vServer to another universe than 1. For this, click on the write DMX universe node and change the start by DMX line entry. But for this tutorial, we will keep sending the DMX data of port 1 to universe 1. Now let's upload our project. For this, go back to the Connection Upload tab and hit Upload Project to vServer. You will be asked if you want to save your current project before uploading, and I will say yes. If another project is currently running on the vServer, it will also ask you whether you want to overwrite the project or not. In this case, we want to overwrite. Now the data will be transferred and the vServer will reboot. Once the vServer rebooted, a message box will appear in depends with the text Upload Success. When you're uploading a project which is already on the vServer, you will be asked which project data you would like to transfer. In this case, just go with all and hit OK. Again, the data will be transferred to the vServer and the server will reboot. Now that we have configured our DMX connector 1 of the vServer to an input and uploaded the project, we can see from the DMX view window on the touchscreen of the vServer that on address 1 our signal from the wind speed sensor is visible. Before we continue, let's save the project and give it a proper name. I will call it Tutorial Wind. After it is saved, let's upload the project to the vServer again. Now we can see our project title within the screen of the server. Now back at the Logic I/O, let's take a look at the incoming DMX value with two simple nodes. Read DMX to read the value, and a display to show the value. Now before we can see input, we need to patch a simple one-channel fixture onto our incoming address. Now when I am spinning the wind speed sensor, we can see that our display changes. The range of this value is from 0 to 1, where 1 is a DMX value of 255. Now let's continue building our logic for our fountain pump control. For the next step, we will need a multiplicator and a static value. Type the number 25 into the static value. I will explain why we need the static value in a second. And also, let's add another display for clearance. For the next step, we will need a WindAnalyzer and another display. This is the most important node within this setup. If we click on this node, we will see some values we can change, and from our display we can also see the value 1. The value 1 means that there is no wind at all. That would also mean that the pump speeds are at 100%. Speaking of pump speeds, we are not directly connecting the pump speed to our wind analyzer. The calculated value of the wind analyzer will be sent to a so-called VirtualMaster. Just imagine this master as a value between 0 and 100, where 0 is 0% pump speed and 100 being 100% pump speed. Later we will create a VirtualMaster and link it to some pumps. Just keep this in mind as we will speak about VM or virtual masters instead of pump speeds. Now what do these values within the WindAnalyzer node mean? Let's start from the ramp. Attack in percent per second. Once a certain amount of wind is reached and this wind lasts at least 10 seconds, which is our hold time, the virtual master will decrease with 2% per second. Release also in percent per second. Once the wind falls below a certain amount and stays there for at least 10 seconds, which is again our hold time, the virtual master will increase by 2% per second. After an attack or release occurs, the system waits for the delay time, 10 seconds in this case, before the next attack or release can happen. Now we have ramp 1, 2 and 3. For ramp 1, from 5 meters per second of wind, the virtual master decreases to 80%, meaning all pumps will run at 80%. For ramp 2, from 12 meters per second, the virtual master will level down to 60%. And for ramp 3, if the wind speed is stronger than 25 meters per second, the virtual master value will level down to 30%. Remember, the ramps only take action when the wind is at a specific speed for at least 10 seconds. And of course, all these values can be adjusted as you desire. While we are in the wind analyzer settings, we can see that the measured wind speed ranges from 5 to 25 meters per second. This is why we apply a multiplier together with a static value. The incoming DMX signal ranges from 0 to 1, so it needs to be converted into a value range that the logic node can process. Now let's create a new virtual master. For this, navigate to your repository and go to the tab Virtual Master. From here, right-click New and give your virtual master a name. In my case, I will name it Virtual Master 1 High Fountain. Now let's go to the Construction tab and let's patch a simple high fountain fixture. Just make sure to not patch it onto the same universe as your wind speed sensor input. Now, within the Fixture DMX channel settings, we will need to link the virtual master to the pump speed. For this, go to the Fixture, go to Settings, go to Pump Speed, and on the Virtual Master tab here, click on this little plus icon and add the VM1 High Fountain Virtual Master we created. Now for the last part, all we need to do is add another node called Write Virtual Master. Connect this node to the display of the wind analyzer and drag and drop the virtual master from the repository onto the node. Now our setup is done and we can start testing. I added two nodes, a read virtual master node and a display. Let's begin by activating the fountain at full pump speed. Next, I will input a DMX value of 127 or 50%. This should bring down the pump speed to 60%. After the programmed delay of 10 seconds, the effect becomes visible as the fountain decreases in height. Now I will input a DMX value of 0. This should bring back our fountain to its original height after our short delay of 10 seconds. And now the fountain increases in height with 2% per second. And of course, you can add multiple wind analyzer nodes. and send the signal into different VirtualMaster to control different fountain types, for example high, mid or low fountains. And if you want to use the analog I/O at the back of the vServer, you can also do that. Just make sure to replace the read DMX node with the vServer analog input node. You can then change the analog port index within the settings of the node. Now upload the project to your vServer and the analog input will be configured. And of course, you're not limited to connecting just the wind speed sensor via analog or DMX. You can also integrate other sensors such as dry run protection sensors, temperature sensor, or moisture sensor. In general, any sensor that provides an input signal can be connected to the system, either through the ADC or directly via the analog I/O. This diagram shows the pinout of the vServer analog I/O interface, implemented with a sub-D 37-pin female connector. The analog input and output signals operate in the 0 to 10 volts range. When designing mating connectors or custom interface hardware, ensure that the signal grounds are properly tied together and that the appropriate series resistors are included in the design. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.